Welcome in today. This is our little early part. I'll cut this off for the final video, but I want to welcome you into the James Madison offseason. We simulated year one. Year two, we're going to build a team and move it into the SEC, and we're going to start playing the games from there. So today, we're going to get completely through our offseason. We're going to go through all that, build our team, set up the conferences, and get excited for the next season of college football here at James Madison. I'm really excited for this. I do think that it's going to be a great experience here today. I don't know how good this team's going to be. I think we're going to have a really tough first offseason if I'm just being fully honest with you. But, we got to be patient here. We got to build a good team. We already lost a ton of talent on this team before we jump into it. And, we have a terrible recruiting class coming in, and I just know it's going to be a ton of work. This is a live stream dynasty, so if you're here now, I want to thank you for watching, and we're going to cut it down a little bit, and we'll make it into a video. I'm not going to edit it a ton. My computer died for anybody that's watched my Indian River dynasty. That's what happened there. My computer died. I have a ton of episodes recorded, but I have no way of going back and getting the footage right now. I have it saved, but I don't have any way of doing it, like using it and editing it and doing all the commentary for it, so unless I can get a new computer here relatively soon, that dynasty may have to be over. And I can't just live stream it because I'm already... So I was playing it and slowly working it out. So that's what happened there. James Madison's our new one. It's a complete live stream dynasty. I am using a new mic, and I'm still trying to adjust settings on it. So let me know, and if you have any feedback down below, I'd appreciate that on my mic. And yeah. Let's go ahead. I'm going to cut it for the start of YouTube, and we're going to jump on into this thing today. Hello, everybody. Welcome in today. James Madison is going to move to the SEC. That's the whole point of this whole experiment here. We're going to play every game, and we're going to try to build them. We're in our first off season. Let's jump right in. We lost a ton of players. We lost our starting quarterback. We lost pretty much everybody important to this team. So, first things first. We're going to actually go back here. I want to take a look at this team and just kind of show you where we're at roster-wise. Keep in mind, every senior is not on this team right now. And the reason for that is they don't take them off for some reason, and I don't really understand it. I think a guy like J.C. Evans could be a starter for us. He's got good size, good basic physical attributes. He needs some development, and we'll see how that goes this offseason. At running back, I'm so thankful Wayne Knight didn't transfer. I was expecting him to, but he stuck around and decided to be a loyal guy here. So we're going to have him, and that's going to help us out a ton. That's a way we can build our offense as we move into the SEC. Now at receiver, we're pretty thin here, and I expect to have to utilize the portal to try to make ourselves competitive. At tight end, we have a starting option, but again, we need depth. We have 3 guys that are not on this roster anymore. Offensive line, though, is where we are terrible, man. We don't have anybody in the 70s that's returning to this roster. And then on defensive line, guess what? It's the same problem, because even though it looks like we have an 83 here, Emmanuel Bush is gone. He's not going to be on this team anymore. So, unfortunately, it's going to be a long road as we build this team into an SEC caliber roster. But instead of waiting around, we're going to jump straight in to the SEC this offseason. So I'm excited to try to build it up, and it's going to be a tough first season for us, which will be the 2026 season. But let's go ahead and take a look at our transfer portal and see who we might be able to bring in. Keep in mind, let's go ahead and check out the transfer portal. I want to see who we potentially... Wait, why is my target list full? I cleaned up the board before the last episode. I might not have adjusted. Let's go to league settings and make sure they're not recruiting for me. And that's what they're doing. They're recruiting for me, so we're going to go ahead and turn that off. And we're going to have to clean up the board. I didn't notice that before I advanced ahead. Let's clean up this board. There's a ton of people on here I don't want nothing to do with. Yeah, we don't need any of these guys on our roster. We need the space to bring in, hopefully, better caliber players here out of the portal. It's definitely going to be a long road for this team, I think. And we're going to have to wait and see if we're able to get any good at this in year one. but I expect to field a very uncompetitive roster our first year in this dynasty. This part sucks. I can't believe I have to go through and do this, all because I am an idiot, basically. But, oh well. We'll get this board cleaned up, and then we'll finally start looking at transfer portal and see who we can add to this team, because we certainly need some help. And knowing that we're moving into the SEC, we need a lot of help, because this really isn't going to be good for us. So, now that we got a chance, let's go into the transfer portal. First things first, I want to know a quarterback that has interest in coming to us. There's some good guys in the portal here at the top. Ty Simpson, Devin Dampierre, Marcel Reed's in the portal, Noah Fafita, Sorsby and Hoover, Beck. Those are all guys in there in real life. Our guy Alonzo Barrett's not returning to us. He's going to have a chance to move up to a big team, and I think he's actually going to stand out. DJ Lagway did enter the portal like he did in real life. I'm a Gator fan, so, it kind of is what it is. I'm going to take a shot on a guy like a Tevin St. Clair because I think he is good size, high potential player from Ohio State. So we're going to throw him on there, and I'm really excited to see Kamario Taylor have interest in us. I'm going to go after him hard. He is somebody that in real life I like his potential as a college quarterback. Not sure about his NFL future because he isn't the best thrower of the ball. But he's definitely somebody I would love to bring into this team and maybe build this roster or build around for this roster. And I think he could be a starter long term, and I think he has enough upside to be a really good player in this. This is tough, but I think knowing we're in the SEC, I think I want to bring in the young guys and maybe punt on the first year a little bit. We already have 2 quarterbacks on the roster, though. We need a ton of help. We're not going after a running back. Wide receiver, we need help. So let's see who we might be able to get here. None of the top guys, obviously, are going to have any interest in coming here and playing for us. We're awful. Right now, we're in the Sun Belt because, you can't move until after the season. Chaz Nimrod, 6'2", 198. He's a 3-star. I'll take him out of the portal gladly. We'll add him another speedster. And I want 3 guys on our board. Probably. I like Xavier Townsend. He's interesting. I want to see... I'm a Gator fan, so there's some players that I know in real life that have really good speed. And I just would love to see if they're in the portal, maybe I can get one of them guys to come to us. And all I see is Tank Hawkins, and I know that dude's fast. So I want to add Tank Hawkins as our third receiver option. Now at tight end, we need depth. So preferably at tight end, I'm probably looking for a younger guy. But, I look at this right here. He's from Ohio. He isn't a big school guy. He has some interest maybe from the big schools. I want to throw... I'm tempted to throw him on the board, but I look at him. He's 6'6", 260, Brody Foley. You know what? He has interest in us already. He's going on the board. Now, I think we need 5 starting offensive linemen, no questions asked. 2 more additional tackles just to make sure we have a shot maybe at pulling these guys in. I don't even know if we're going to be able to do it. But we got a left guard there. We got another left guard with interest who's a 3-star. We got a right guard with interest. Yeah, I'm not too worried about names, and I don't know anything about these guys, really. I'm not going to pretend I do. I watched the draft classes on this roster. So, we're going to throw a couple guys on here. Let's go with Chandler Strong as well. Now we need defensive line help as well on this roster. I mean, it's thin right now. And I don't think we're going to have the points to go around to maybe get all these guys. But an LJ McCray, really would love to bring him in. We'll add Desir on there. We'll add... I don't know how to say his name, but why not throw him on there? And then DJ Wessolak, we'll throw him on the board too. At defensive tackle, we're exceptionally thin. I want a 4-star in Jordan Hall, but I don't expect us to be able to win that fight. But you know what? What's the harm? We're going to throw him on the board anyway. We'll go with Kevin Wynn as well. Jordan Thomas is a good player. He's a young player, so I expect him to maybe get a lot of... interest out of the portal. Oh, Tamanu Pepe. I've watched Mr. Hurricane for years and years and years. Absolutely love his content. This dude was incredible for him. I'm going to use that to my advantage and try to bring him in just knowing a little bit about him. So I think he'd be a great player to add on our board. And then let's maybe add somebody who has... he's a little small. I like the size of Bryce Jenkins here out of Maryland. Let's throw him on our board as well. Now, we need help, like I said, everywhere on this roster. So we're going to add a linebacker at probably each position. If I don't have the spot to, but let's add Eck to the board here. Let's go to Mike linebacker, throw a Mike linebacker who has some interest on the board. Sure, why not? Chris Jones, I don't see any reason to dislike him. Let's go to corner and put our last guy on the board. I don't know how many of these guys we're going to be able to get, and I do expect the board to thin out very quickly. It's just how the transfer portal works, but I definitely got to take swings. We need help if we're moving to the SEC, and we're just not good enough. Like, I would love to add him, but a 5'10", 180 corner, I don't think it's going to hold up as well in the SEC. Look at Elijah Reed, 6'3", 200. Yes, he's coming from Akron, and he's older, but I think he could step in and help us this year, which is what we absolutely need. So, now let's head over to our recruiting board. The quarterbacks are getting a scholarship, and they're getting 50. Right off the top, have to do it. We need a quarterback on this team. I only added one receiver. Let's go all in on him. Actually, I added a couple different receivers. Tank Hawkins is somebody I want to bring in. So we'll throw 25 on him. Offer the scholarship there. Now at offensive tackle, we need 5 guys. So the top 2 on our board this first week are absolutely getting 50 points because it is imperative that we get these guys in here. Top offensive lineman. Let's go ahead. Go all in on getting some points on these guys. We're going to be in a tough spot. Like, I don't expect to really have a good team, but we're going to do our absolute best here to try to make it as competitive as possible. It looks like we're already running out of points, so I better go ahead, just make sure that I'm offering everybody a scholarship, and then maybe next week we can jump in and just see how things are looking, clean up our board, and readjust. You know, I don't have a good feel on how this is going to go. I actually don't have a ton of faith that this is going to be a good first round for us, and I think our talent level is going to be exceptionally low, and year one's going to be miserable. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You got to deal with the cards you're dealt. Everybody decided to leave, even though we're moving to the SEC. And we're going to go after Tamanu Pepe just because I know how good he is from, like I said, Mr. Hurricane. So that's it. That's how I've distributed our points here for year one, or for week one, I should say. It's not a great distribution, but we're going to see. Let's back out. Let's advance the week. And let's just see what's going to happen here. It says we have an upgrade. Let's see if we have any points to actually spend. It's showing it. Oh, we only have 2 points. So no, we can't upgrade ourselves. Let's go ahead and advance to the next week. Of course, nobody was drafted from this roster. Next year, we might have our running back drafted. He's a fantastic player, but not going to worry about that. Let's see how this recruiting board looks right now. I'm expecting a ton of people to have locked us out, and I'm kind of expecting a ton of disappointment with how this is going. Like, St. Clair is going to be a hard battle that I don't think we're going to probably win. We got a chance on Camario Taylor. Now, that's exciting, and I'm going to keep going all in on him in hopes we can pull him in. Nimrod, got a long way to go, but I'm not willing to give up on him. I want to say he used to play at Tennessee, if I remember properly. Locked out on Shetron. We didn't go after him, so it makes sense. You know, we got a little bit of a shot with Tank Hawkins, and I would absolutely love to go ahead and up that to 50 in hopes of getting in this race and getting a shot at getting him on this roster. Foley, we're in first place. I don't really have points to go after him. We're doing good there. You know, I look at some of this and I go, you know, there are people, a lot of people in the portal this year. That's just a fact. There's a lot of people that entered, and it's just going to work out to where not everybody's going to be able to be recruited. because I did, for year one, I kind of forgot. I was in a rush getting this going and starting, and I didn't set up the transfer portal how I would normally have it. So there's going to be a lot of people in the portal as we start this off. So hopefully that kind of helps us. Like right now, this guy has nobody going after him. We offered him a scholarship, so we're just going to throw some points at him and try to maintain. As to our like Cubberly here, who I actually think Mr. Hurricane had as well. At center, we got Strong. Love to throw some points at him. LJ McCray. Perfect. You know, I see that they have minimal interest, and that's going to work in our advantage. And if that's the case, I want to try to get them because I do think that'll help us long term, of course. Tamanu Pepe has interest from UTSA, but I'm not willing to give up on him. I've seen the type of talent he has, and I've seen the type of potential that he has in Mr. Hurricane's dynasty, and I think he would be a key cog in the SEC, especially because we're going to get him for multiple years. So I would love to have that man on our team. All right, we redistributed our points as best as we can. You know, it doesn't look good. We're going to be pretty weak at some positions, but I want to have a fun offense at least in year one. So our defense will definitely struggle. I'm well aware of that, and I think that is what it is. Let's see how we did here after week 2 of recruiting. Looks like nobody locked us out that we threw points on. Both good and bad. These high school guys, you know, he doesn't have an offer from Penn State, so we might get that guy. All right, it's not looking good for Tevin St. Clair. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not very confident that he's going to come to us. Camario Taylor still looking good. Nimrod, we're making up ground, but it's not looking good. North Texas seems to be pulling away a little bit from us. Tank Hawkins, we made up a lot of ground on FAU, so we got a shot there. Doing good on Foley and Williams and Anderson. Perry still hasn't locked us out, and I feel like if we really wanted him, we could probably get him, but I'm probably not going to jump in that fight. Looks like we're going to lose on Tristan Smith. I think I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, I think it makes the most sense just take him off the board. I need them points to try to get players that want to come here. And I look at, yeah, Syracuse jumping up is really going to hurt us there on this guy. Cubberly, I think we're going to just transition these points over to Roble because he's a young sophomore. We're going to try to bring him in, see if throwing 50 at him is going to help this race out at all. It looks like we're doing okay here, though. I'm not going to pretend that everything's going to plan, but, you know, I feel like overall I can't complain. It's looking pretty good-ish, I guess. I'm debating. I don't really have enough to hard sell on, like, St. Clair I'm tempted to pull the points off of, but I don't know, man. I would like to get him in here, man. I know he's such a high potential player. And it looks like we're making up ground. So we're going to leave the points. That's where we're going to leave it. We're going to advance the week again and just see what happens here. I'm not confident with this recruiting class anyway, and I'm kind of treating it as such. You know, you're drinking from a fire hose when you take a new job. That's something they always say. And I honestly think that's true. So it's what seemed to have happened here, and we're just trying to work our way through it and see what works for us, see how it's going, and try to build the best team we can. And then next year we can really recruit all year. We can do everything that's necessary and hopefully have a better roster in the future. Yeah, Utah, man. They jumped there. We might be in trouble on St. Clair. If I can find points, I might do a visit to bring him in. It's like Camario Taylor. I just want to lock him down. I want to make sure I have him on the team. Tank Hawkins, man, that's going to be a tough one. But I'd like to... Man, that's tough. How much is it going to cost for Tank Hawkins to do a visit? 25. How about Tevin St. Clair? 40. Okay. Because, see, I could set these guys up as a group visit, or even if I do Camario Taylor, just because I think he's a more realistic option. I don't want to lose him to Arkansas here at the end. That's an option. Let's see if I can come up with the points for a week. Honestly, though, like, I'm scared, even though I shouldn't be, of, like, what if I take the points off of these guys and I start dropping? I need all these players that I'm going after pretty bad, and some of these guys I just want, like Hawkins with his speed. I really want him. It's like Tamanu Pepe. I want him, but I'm realizing it's not going to happen. He's just not coming here. I can almost guarantee it, so I think we're going to make the hard decision to give up on Tavian St. Clair. And even though I hate it, that's what we're going to do. We're going to schedule a visit for Kamario Taylor. And we'll do playing style. I think Tank Hawkins make a ton of sense to get on that visit as well. Playing time for him is going to be huge, so that's what we're absolutely going to do there. That's all of our points. It gives us a little bit of help in maybe swinging these two players our way. So, I don't know. We'll see if that helps us out here in the end. Let's go ahead, back out. Let's advance the week and see what this roster is going to look like, because I think it's going to be really bad. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm expecting a terrible year one roster. But we got Kamario Taylor to be our quarterback. 4-star quarterback out of the portal. Love it. We got Elton McHugh, who was a 2-star high school recruit that was already on the board. We were number 1. Same with Kennedy. Just trying to hold on. Same with Osborne here at tight end. We got Kalu at receiver from Syracuse. We got L.J. McCray at edge rusher. We got Kevin Wynn at defensive tackle. We got Bryce Jenkins at defensive tackle. We got Bryant Williams at left tackle. We got Teague Anderson at right tackle. That's a starting tackles taken care of. At guard, we got Garava. We got Manu at center. We might be short at guard. We got a tight end in Brody Foley. We got Aaron Karras at right tackle. Maybe we can slide him in the guard and he'll help us out. We got another center in Chandler Strong. Mandrell Desir at edge. You know, things didn't go. It looks like we lost to Florida Atlantic for Tank Hawkins. You've got to be kidding me. So we lost Clay Eppard. He didn't actually go to Penn State. He didn't get an offer from him. So I feel like he might show up on our team at center. We lost Chaz Nimrod, though, straight up to North Texas. Tank Hawkins, straight up, just couldn't win the battle versus Florida Atlantic. That's frustrating. We lost Jesse Perry at right tackle. Weren't going after him hard. Roble ended up sticking with Syracuse. That's what it is. Cubberly went to Ohio. Along with Durajanye at right edge. And Manu Pepe did end up choosing UTSA. That's disappointing. Jackson Eck. I mean, we didn't get a lot of help here on defense. I'm a little worried for next season, man. But it is what it is. So, let's see where our recruiting class ranked. I'm expecting it to be terrible. Top classes, we're just going to jump straight to the Sun Belt and see. Wow, we had the top one in the Sun Belt. We're number 59, which is dreadful when you really think about that. Especially when you look at the SEC, and number 59 might put us dead last. And it does, because we're knocking Vanderbilt out of the SEC and taking their spot. So, that's horrible, man. Like, I mean, what do you do? That's terrible. Oh well, I guess. I might not even knock Vanderbilt out. I might just add us into the SEC and call it a day. I don't know. I'm a little unsure of what to do there, but we'll have to figure it out in this video because it's happening before the end of today. Now let's take a look at our actual roster here. Quarterback, Kamario Taylor is going to step in, be our starter. I think he has enough upside to be excited about him. Like I said, at running back, we were actually pretty good, and we got some freshmen here that came in. So I'm excited to see kind of what we've got in the future here. Don't need a fullback. Receiver is thin, man. It is really thin. But what are you going to do? Tight end. We got some guys. I mean, Foley's an 83. I'm really excited about that. So, Osborne's a 66 freshman. At tackle, Williams, man, I'm excited about him. 82 overall. He's going to be able to start for us. Left guard, 80. Perfect. Center, perfect, man. Strong's at 78, 75 here for Manu. And he's got enough size to where if I have to, he's going over to right guard. He's going to be our starting right guard next year. I absolutely need him there. That's where he's going to go. That helps us out there. And then right tackle, we're good. And we even have a backup in Aaron Karras, who likely will be our backup offensive lineman across this entire offensive line unless somebody really develops that I'm not expecting. At left edge, Desir's a 78. Perfect. He can start for us. 80 and LJ McCray. Love that. Defensive tackle, the two guys we brought in are going to be starters. And that's perfect. I'm very happy with that. Now, linebackers looking pathetic. Corner's not very good. Safety is poopy, man. That is... Oh, man. That's some of the worst stuff I've ever seen. Like, he's too slow anyway. He's going to move back and be a free safety, I think. His overall is going to jump. He's not fast enough to be a corner, in my opinion, anyway. And he might have a shot at being our starting free safety this year. That's so bad. I don't know, man. I made some mistakes here with this recruiting class, but we don't have any athletes, so it is what it is. That's our position changes. Let's go ahead and move on here. The SEC year one is going to be a miserable, miserable thing for us. I can already tell you that right now. Let's look at our training results. Here's the thing. I have manual upgrade on. And to be honest with you, I don't know how much I love having it on. But we're not going to upgrade every single player. I just don't think that's a good way to go about it. Anyway, I think it's kind of cheesy at times. But like at quarterback, right now this year, we are absolutely upgrading Kamario Taylor because we're going to need him to be a dog for us. Like, we need everything that this kid can give us. I'm excited about him. I think he has a ton of potential. I just hope that he's going to be able to save us because we're going to be leaning on him a ton. Let's go into throw power once. There we go. He's an 84 overall. Absolutely love that. Wayne Knight at halfback is somebody I want to upgrade because he's already a very good player. And I want to make sure he becomes a draft pick. Let's get that IQ up some here. Maybe a little cheesy, but I want that overall to be high enough to get him picked because that'll help us in the long haul as we build this team. You know, it matters. You may not think it does, but it absolutely does to get players drafted. It just helps with recruiting, and it makes it easier to meet deal breakers. So all that certainly matters to me as he jumps to a 90 overall. Receiver, I think the only other player I'm really curious about is Kai Callan that I moved. I don't know what type of skill caps he's going to have. And I'm hoping that... Oof, that's rough. Let's just try to develop him and see what he becomes. I'm not expecting a super high overall player here. But I'm just hoping I can make him at least playable. That IQ is absolutely horrible, though. I can't believe how bad it is. But, you know, he's going to probably reach a 70 overall. So I think the dude will be able to start for us. And ultimately, that's what we need. I mean, the SEC, though, he's going to be a bad starter in the SEC. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to cover that up. But a 72 overall is much better than what I thought we were going to be starting at this position. So we'll go ahead, go back to our roster here, get to the top of the board, and then we're going to auto upgrade everybody else. Sometimes transfers won't auto upgrade, so you do have to keep an eye out for that. So as we look at quarterback, J.C. Evans only went up 1, same with Douglas. So far, tight end, yeah, you see Foley here didn't upgrade, so I am going to have to upgrade him since he's a transfer. Let's get into route running for him. Make it easier for him to get open. And then his IQ's good. Let's go into hands. I just want to finish. He's only got 2 points left. IQ. Would have loved to put that there. Do we have any physical abilities I can upgrade? Sure. Cutter. There we go. He's an 85 overall transfer tight end. He might be our best option in the receiving game we got. Landon Ellis maybe is exciting, but not really. Now our tackles, we're going to be able to upgrade our entire offensive line because, as you know, I had to get everybody out of the portal because we were awful. Let's get into pass blocking. Bryant Williams ends up being an 84. I'll absolutely take that. Left guard, Mateo Garava. Impact Dev. Decent skill caps, actually. Let's get into run blocking because he has the ability to get very good there. I want to hit his pass block and cap that out. I think it makes a ton of sense. Being a senior, I also feel like I should hit his IQ to maybe get him to be draftable. But I don't know if his overall is ever going to reach that level. We're going to take a shot and try it, though. Probably wasn't the best idea because he didn't end up getting high enough to probably be drafted, but worth a shot. We need as much help as we can in the recruiting game moving to the SEC. Manu here at center. He does not have very good skill caps, so he's not going to end up being a long-term answer, hopefully. But I feel pretty good about allowing him to start for us now. Like I said, not the best long-term option, but a 79 overall center, I'll take that. Right guard, Chandler Strong. He's a senior. We got him for 1 year. He's not probably going to be a draftable player, so I'm not really worried about that. Let's just make him as good as we can get him to actually help us on the field. Up to an 84. Let's get that IQ a little higher, make him a smart, heady player. We could absolutely use that. And he's going to finish at an 85. I like that. Right tackle, Teague Anderson. Now, this position here could be interesting for us because there's a chance I could be starting one of these guys at another position if their overall gets in a good enough spot and I think they fit the profile because that also matters as well. Teague Anderson, 83 overall. I don't know that he'll be our starter this year, but he's got another year, develop a little bit more, and we'll see. We'll be able to upgrade Karras a decent bit here. He's going to be a similar overall type of guy, and that's going to be a decision I'll have to figure out after the stream, probably. I might do a little bit of practice in this stream. It just depends. Desir's a transfer. That's the only bad part. I don't understand why when you auto-upgrade, it does not auto-upgrade your transfers. Like, let me try it again. Yeah, see, it still won't do it, and I don't understand why it doesn't. Like, I just want it so that way I can make certain people upgraded how I want them. Like, and it's not always a quarterback that I'm talking about. There's just times where they don't upgrade a player's overall at all, and he has a ton of potential, and I don't know, it annoys me, I guess, and maybe it's dumb, but it bugs me, so I like to be able to go in there and fix that, in my opinion. You know, fix it, I guess is the way to put it. LJ McCray being only normal dev sucks, because the kid has so much potential. But let's do our best here, get his overall up a little bit. He's going to be an 83 overall for us. I mean, that's absolutely going to be helpful. Defensive tackles, I think the last place we got transfers, so this is probably the last manual upgrades we'll have to do. I want him to be a better pass rusher. Right off the rip. I think, I think that's a pretty important part of the game. Power moves being 99 is going to be, like, OP, man. Let's hit that quickness once. Want to hit that run stopping a little bit. Hopefully we have enough for an IQ. Perfect. He's an 85 overall sophomore. Absolutely excited to see what Kevin Wynn's going to be able to do for us. Bryce Jenkins. 3-star pure power impact. You know, we're going to hit pass rushing. I firmly believe having good pass rushing matters, especially when we're a bad team, because they're going to be. I mean, you would think that means we need more run stopping, but we need to have a way with our secondary being so bad to affect them so they're not able just to run up the scores on us. And that's not going to be very easy to do, but we just got to try to make it so we have a chance in some of these games to affect the quarterback and maybe, just maybe, get lucky enough to get some stops. 82 overall here for Jenkins. Happy with that. Ugh, that's horrible. Our linebacking core is disgustingly bad. Our secondary, we have 4 corners on roster, and honestly, Eglin's the only playable one that we have on this entire team right now. That's rough. We're in a very bad spot. Like, wow. I am not a fan of how this team's set up right now. It's going to be a horrible year one in the SEC. I'm expecting a ton of losses. We upgraded our team. Now we got a ton of upgrades for our coach. Let's absolutely get into that. He's a recruiter. We need to get talent on this team. We're going to get advanced look across the board. Oops, accidentally backed out there. First and foremost, I want to know the players I'm getting. Next up, we'll start looking at trying to get the magnetic personality stuff. And to be honest, I'd love to do it for our quarterbacks and receivers. But our DB situation's in such a bad spot, and it affects so many positions that I think we need to start with that. And then probably look to the offensive line because we got a ton of transfers on the team. And, you know, got to be able to refill the roster for next year as we're going to sim ahead here. I doubt we have to encourage transfers. If anything, we probably have about 60 players on this roster. Yeah, we don't even have 60, and my estimate was high. That's rough. We're in a bad spot there. Now, custom conferences. This is where things have to get a little bit interesting. Nobody moved on from the American, but I am not sure what to do. So here's a thought process I have. The ACC, obviously, Big Ten, all that's fine. Down here, La Tech moves over to be a Sun Belt team. And then JMU, because that's what we're doing here, is moving to the SEC. I don't know how this is going to go for us, but we're going to be an SEC team. The Pac-12 absolutely needs to add Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Utah State. Then if I remember properly, it's San Diego State as well. And I am doing this off top of my dome, so there is a chance I could be wrong on that. And I use moving over to the Mountain West. And then down here in the CUSA. Okay, I don't know why I did that. It's Sun Belt. I knew better. Texas State here also is headed out to the Pac-12. So that sets their conferences up how they actually are in real life. We're added to the SEC, and what I'm not sure of what to do with here is, do I want to add another team to the SEC and make it an even number? Because to me, it makes sense to have 18 teams if you're going to do it, or keep it at 16 and just move a team out. Like, Vanderbilt actually has a decent overall. I would actually feel bad about moving them out. Normally, their overall is really, really low, but they did a good job this year in helping their roster out, and I'm guessing, yeah, they had a good year, so that does help them be a better team. So, do I want to add another team? I feel like the best thing to do is add another team. And if we're going to do it, we're going to head over to the American here. And we're going to move a team up from the American to the SEC. Now, I feel like Tulane, since they were just in the playoff, makes a ton of sense. Plus, actually, I think they're the highest overall team in the American right now. So they... Ooh, USF would be interesting. James Madison, though, who would I want to bring up with him? Tulane has an SEC for this. Now, I may decide in the future to just boot both them and another program out of the SEC. But for now, it's going to be Tulane and James Madison getting added. Let's go ahead and take a look at our conference rules. We are absolutely playing a 9-game conference schedule. We're going to turn on protected opponents. No, we're going to keep them off. We're just going to let it roll how it rolls here. So, us, and I do believe, which is a good thing, but I got to go to the ACC as well and adjust them. They can't do 9 without adding a team, right? Yeah, so maybe 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Let's add USF to the ACC for this. We're going to have a little fun here. And then we're going to make the ACC also play 9 games in conference. So, we'll see. We're going to decimate the G5 a little bit, but to be honest with you, I don't think they're on the same level. This past weekend really did prove that. And I think, unfortunately, they'd be better served to have their own playoff in the future. But we're going to add 3 teams to the power conferences. It's going to be James Madison, Tulane, and then also here in the ACC, we're going to move up USF and put the Bulls in a power conference and see if they're going to be able to step up in the state of Florida. That's it for our custom conferences. Let's go ahead and advance to the next week here. And finally, we're in the SEC getting prepared to start our future with this program. We're a 78 overall team, and now that I see that changed, I'm a little worried that I'm going to look at Vanderbilt, and they're going to be a seriously worse team. Let's take a look at our conference standings here. Yeah, Tulane's down to a 71. 62. See, I should have booted Vanderbilt. I was absolutely right in my gut that Vanderbilt's an awful team every year as you step forward. So maybe I'll just move Tulane and Vanderbilt out next year. If I should have saved it, backed out, and reloaded it. It's what I wanted to do, but it is what it is. How's USF looking? 58 overall. That's awful. It's so bad, man. Like, all right. Now we're going to jump in, and the very first thing I need to adjust here is the number of transfers. Max transfers per team. I'm dropping to 15. I don't want a ton of players in the portal. I think that it's overpopulated now. Now, C4 is who I do use. So I'm going to drop both, though, CPU and user to 38. We want the portal to be a little thinner so it matters who we recruit in high school. And it'll be easy still. You can still find guys, but it should make the portal more competitive, in my opinion, having less players showing up in there and making it harder for players to actually want to transfer out. Now, all this stuff here, I am going to adjust. I do think Mr. Hurricane's somebody good to trust on that for our wear and tear. I'd like his idea of the system. He's had some issues with it, but I'm thinking I might try to steal his sliders and see how they work. And then gameplay sliders, I'll use Mat 10. They're not imported right now, but let's see. Do I have them saved? I do. That's the Mat 10 sliders that I have saved. I might have to adjust them some. We'll go ahead and do that, but yeah, we'll have to adjust them, but we'll reset them to 50 so I don't forget to do it. I'll look up Mat 10's latest sliders and put them in. The only thing I do is I do turn down interceptions. I think that user picks, I know it's cheesy in a way, like everybody's going to think I'm just trying to make it easier on myself. But if you're both set at 35, I've found that, for example, my DBs as the user will drop more passes than the computer DBs. They make you pay for your mistakes far more if you're a computer DB. So I'm going to turn down my interceptions some. And, it's not trying to cheese the system. It's just if my guys won't make the catch, I don't want their guys always making the catch and making the perfect play. So that's one slider I absolutely turn down every time. Part of it's because I'm not going to pretend I'm the best at this game. I'm not. I'm going to turn the ball over and make mistakes. But I do think the other part of it is you have to make it fair. So we probably will jump into practice some still in this, I'm thinking. But I don't want to. I don't have sliders imported, so maybe I won't. I might just import the sliders I have at the main menu that are not up to date so we can do some practice and just get kind of a feel for how these guys work and how this team feels. But first up, let's go ahead and take a look at our first SEC schedule. We're opening up at Virginia Tech. Ouch. That's not a great way to start the year. Then we play FCS East. All right. Then it's Missouri, Vanderbilt, Tulane, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi State, Alabama. We got UConn on the schedule, who's actually ranked. That's wild. Kentucky, and then that's it. I feel like we could maybe finish hot at the end of the year, but it's going to be a tough season for us. We should be able to maybe beat Vanderbilt and Tulane. That's 2, 3. If we can sneak out a back half here with Kentucky and UConn, maybe 5, 6 victories, get to a bowl game, that'd be, incredible. We're a star and a half program. We went 10-4 last year in the Sun Belt. I just simulated the entire season. I didn't play any of the games, so yeah. They finished going pretty much how they did in real life. So our schedule is not looking particularly easy, I'm not going to lie to you. But let's get our recruiting board set up here. All right, I think the first thing we need to focus on is some DB help. Now, I think I'm going to go... I don't like using recommended. We're going to go into any state. And I just think we need across the board, we need DB help really, really bad. I don't think we're in a position that if they're not interested that I really want to add them on the board right away. But we have some serious interest here for top 1,000 players, and I'm going to throw them on the board. Just because I do believe strong safeties can move over to free safeties. It's not always perfect. Like in real life, the role's a little bit different. We're going to avoid this JUCO for now. Maybe if he doesn't have interest later on, we'll add him to our board. So there's some position flexibility there for who we can get and who we can bring in. At corner, we got a 4-star here, Najee Keaton, interested in us. Absolutely love that. Although I don't love the deal breaker on him being championship contender. It's something that I don't think we're going to be able to uphold. So maybe I don't want to throw him on the board. We'll put him on. We'll start recruiting him. Maybe we get lucky and nobody else goes after him. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Right here, though, Shaquille Boykins, proximity to home. We got that in the bag. We ain't moving the team, so that's at least good. We'll go after some 3-stars. We're going to add a ton of corners on the board. We need depth, and like I said, the whole point of this is to try to get the portal and not be overpopulated, so we're going to need our high school guys to work and develop for us. We got 17 targets just in the secondary to start this off, and I absolutely think it's the right way to go about this. I'm going to avoid this guy. Proximity to home. Never mind. He's going to go on the board. I would love to have him. I don't love championship contender. Coach prestige isn't going to change. I mean, it might, but we're going to work on our outside backers now. I think we'll be able to replenish the offense in the portal. So I really want to try to build this defense up front. Well, I guess from the back forward this year, just because we built it up front through the transfer portal. And pretty much everybody we brought in, we have another year from. Conference prestige isn't going to go down like that, so I'm glad and happy. I'm willing to put him on the board. We're second on this guy's list. Absolutely going on the board. Let's throw them both on the board. We're first and second. This guy I'm also tempted just because we're third, but championship contender is not going to be high for us. We do need some more help at defensive tackle. We brought in 2 young guys, so it's not like I need to fight for somebody to start for us. I just need some people who can develop. Like, Pure Power worries me a little bit. He's more of a power rusher. I'm playing style deal breaker sucks. It's hard. We're going to go with Riggins here. On the edge, we're probably going to target 2 guys here. He's a 4-star, and he likes the conference prestige. We got to try, right? Like, it probably won't work out for us, but why not? It's like Pierce. Like, why not, man? It's proximity to home. Why not try to get him? Now, across the offensive line, we're going to have probably 5 guys at least on our board here. I hate the championship contenders, the deal breaker there. Because we're high up on his list. I'm just not confident that we're going to be able to meet it. We're going to throw 2 centers on the board. Guards, tackles. We have not very good players for depth, but we were able to get guys out of the portal to help us out. Raw strength, still not as broken as it used to be, but pro potential is a risky one. We'll throw him on. That could go down on us. Conference prestige. He's a JUCO. Don't really want him. See, I don't want championship contender. We're 6th on his list, but we're going to throw him on as well. Let's go to the tackles, get 2 guys on the board here. Decent option there. We'll throw him on the board. And, these boards are going to fluctuate big time. Like, he's a pass protector. I really like his size. We're going to throw him on the board. And now I think we absolutely need to find our quarterback to put on the board and target for the future. Actually, maybe not. I think we need to target a big-time receiver instead. He likes conference prestige. He's from Texas. I don't love that. Like, he has interest in this. He's a contested specialist, though, at 6'1". I don't love that. But he likes proximity to home. Let's throw him on the board. Now, we're going to go straight down to him here, and we are absolutely going to scout him. And you know what? I'm happy with that. We're going to offer him the scholarship. He is going to become one of our top targets. I want to make sure he's up at the top because he's a 4-star. And, yeah, I want him on the team if he's willing to come. So every 4-star first, because I want to make sure if I'm going to compete for a guy, I want to make sure that I do want to fight for him. So he's a corner. He can go up the list. Another 4-star corner. I just don't want to fight for a bust. Like, it's not worth it. And he is going to be incredible. 95 speed. He's our top target on the board, and that's probably not going to change. I mean, I really think he could be a good player. Man coverage is high. Press is good. Zone needs some work, but, like, that's fine. He's got the athleticism you're looking for. If there's any way we can get that guy, I want him. I don't know that we're going to be able to, but we're certainly going to do our best to try. Let's look at the Mike linebacker here. Beatty. I mean, he's not a bust. I'm fine with him. Let's move him up the board because, like I said, if we're going to fight for 4 stars to make this team competitive in the SEC, we need to make sure we're going after the right 4 stars. A thumper here. I like him even better, honestly. McGee's probably going to jump ahead of Beatty on the board here. Oh, I missed Carswell. He's another 4-star corner. Good speed, good man. Zone's weak, but I mean, he's in the same archetype, and look at that. He's a gem. Very happy to have either one of these guys if we could swing it. This one will be a little harder because he's from up, in Ohio, and we don't have any sort of pipeline there, but I'd like to get him if I can. Left edge, Jawan Pierce. Good player. I wouldn't say elite, but he's a good player. Absolutely would like to have him. We'll add him and move him up. We're just going through, starting with our 4 stars. I just think it's important that if we're going to fight, we want to make sure we're fighting for the right guys. Scholarship here for James. Not a bust. He's fine enough to have on our team. We still got enough points to do some more scouting before we throw scholarship offers at everybody on the board. That's my strategy anyway. All right, let's scout these offensive linemen up front. He's going to get a scholarship. He's not a gem, so he doesn't need to go up the board. Okay, one guy off the board. He's a bust. Don't want him. Hey, Gordon Busby. Let's go. Scholarship. Gems always go at the top of the board. So, he's going to have a chance to be a really good player. Offensive lineman. There's some tough schools in there, maybe like a South Carolina or USF being in the ACC now could give us trouble, but I feel like we have a good chance as long as we have points on him to get pretty high on his list. 135 hours left. I feel like now's the time I'm going to go through just to make sure we don't accidentally run out of points and not, I want to offer everybody a scholarship that I have on here just to get a true read on, where we're standing on these lists. And if I want to target somebody that we're near the top of or moving up, like I want to scout them and make sure they're the right guy to go after because they're 3 stars. And I know a lot of people will tell you when you're scouting, oh, don't worry about it. I absolutely think if you're going after a 4-star and you're a bad school, sure. Like I probably didn't need to scout the 4 stars this year because we're a bad team in the SEC. But any 3-star, I just don't think it's worth throwing a scholarship, trying to fully recruit and put points on somebody that you just don't have all the information on. So, to me, it makes a ton of sense to just play it safe. I think we have a ton of corners and safeties on our board here. So, let's scout some of them and make sure that they're targets we are going to want. Don't have all the information, but zone coverage, acceleration looks good. He might be a guy we want to go after out of Florida here. But that's it. We're going to leave it at the 34 targets that we have right now. So I guess the next thing I want to do is go ahead and take a look at this team and see what kind of skill caps we got with the players we brought in that we haven't already went over. So didn't bring in anybody besides Kamario Taylor. And we already seen Taylor's skill caps, but Star Dev, he's got some room to grow. He's probably going to maybe get up to a 90 overall, I would say, at best. That's fine. He'll be a great starter for us. We should have him for a few years as long as he doesn't transfer away, which is certainly no guarantee. Now, Brian Hubbard, he was, like I said, recruited by the previous staff. He's a high school kid. Normal Dev, not a ton of upside here, but maybe he'll be able to be a good backup in a perfect world for us. Wimbush is a terrible overall. Normal Dev, he's got nothing for the future here. That kid will probably never play. He might even get cut. Again, didn't recruit him. Receiver, we didn't bring in anybody. Kalu was a high school kid recruited when I simmed the season. Let's see what he's got. Impact Dev, take that. He could probably become a number 3 receiver for us if I had to say. I wouldn't say he's going to be a high-end guy, but he might be able to be a number 3, maybe a number 4 for us. He doesn't have great speed, but he has enough where he could be an impactful guy. And there's a chance this year we might even need him because 89 speed, we suck, and he has future potential, so why wouldn't we want to play him? Especially because playing time matters to him, so we might put him out there. Tight end, Osborne. Let's see what kind of upside he has. I doubt much. I don't expect much. Yeah, he's terrible. That's rough. We don't have much looking ahead here on this roster right now. Epper did end up coming to us like I figured he would. He, transfer guy, or a guy that we had a scholarship for him, but Penn State was ahead of us. Penn State pulled their scholarship, so we were able to get him on the roster here as I simmed ahead. He's a star dev. IQ is kind of low, which will hurt his overall potential, but honestly, his true skills are not that bad. I think he could be a really good player for us. I'm excited to have him. He's somebody we'll be able to actually build around for the future. He might end up forcing us to move on Manu to guard if we need to, because next year he might be good enough to start for us. And we just don't have a ton of talent across the offensive line at this point in time. Defensively, Dom Soliday came in. Normal Dev. Normal Dev's already going to limit his upside quite a bit, but honestly, looking at him, I don't hate him. He could probably be a rotational piece for us in the future. I don't expect him to be good enough to start, but yeah, dude, this linebacking core scares me playing in the SEC. I believe this kid was a 2-star that was committed when I took the job over here, and he doesn't have a ton of potential. Hopefully, we're able to cut him off the team or something, because I don't want him on the field. He's awful. Our secondary's so bad, man. I'm not looking forward to this, but I don't know. That's rough. Yeah, we're not going to be a good team at all this year. But yeah, not looking forward to it. It's going to be rough here in the SEC, but luckily we do have some of the easier teams on our schedule. So maybe that'll help us get some victories. Like Vanderbilt's really bad. And adding Tulane also probably helped, because we also managed to get them on our schedule. So that'll help us. Like Vanderbilt, they're significantly worse than us. And honestly, I think Tulane's going to be similar to Vanderbilt. Yeah, like they're similar to Vanderbilt, so they at least have some better players like a Dinkins and a Hurst on their team, but I don't know. I feel pretty good. We should be able to beat maybe both of those guys. How good's Mississippi State? Traditionally, they're not a great team in the SEC, and they're on our schedule. They are ranked like number 17 right now. Don't know how that happened. They're only a 79, though, but they have Fluff Bothwell still. They have Jaden Baugh went there. Oh, man, as a Gator fan, I'd hate to see Jaden Baugh leave, but I really think that that's going to hurt us being able to win this game, because stopping him is going to be freaking horribly hard, because he's such a good player. That's it. Let's go ahead and advance to the next week here. Oh, we made his top 8. That's good, I guess. Taking a look at recruiting just to see how it's shaping up so far. I don't think we'll be able to get Boykins, but I might try it just because we're in the SEC, and I'm hopeful that maybe we can get lucky. I don't think we're not going to get him, man. Ohio State, Michigan, Indiana, Notre Dame. I want to get Justice Carswell, but I just don't see a way that we're going to be able to pull this off, and I'm not going to even waste my points trying to do it. Busby, good. We're going to be in some fights for these 4 stars, but I feel pretty good looking at the board, minus the one dude we just took off, that we might be able to compete a little bit here and get some good players into this team to build around for the future. I want to finish off Ogbonna's scouting, though, first, because he looked pretty promising here from where we were at. And I was hoping he'd have star dev or be a gem, but he looks good. His press is horrible, but as a safety, I'm not going to put him in man coverage and expect him to press much, but he has good speed, acceleration, change of direction. His zone coverage looks good. Tackling, that's low, but I think I can deal with that. He's certainly a player I have some interest in adding to this team. Boykins is the guy I'm really struggling with, though, on whether I should bother to try to recruit him, because it doesn't look promising. But then again, I look at who we're going against, and it's a bunch of ACC schools, and I'm like, man, we're in the SEC, and we're close to his home. I'm going to go in on him, and we're going to try and see what happens there. I'm not sure that we will actually get him. But, I don't want to put 25 on him. Absolutely with a gem. Need to put 50 on him. We're targeting all these 4 stars because everybody else I was comfortable going in on to try to build around. Ooh, we might not even have enough points to do that. Should next week, though, so that's at least good. We'll see. Everybody here has 50 at the top. Nobody else locked this out that I can recall. So we'll see what happens here. We got scholarships on these guys. Some of them don't have anybody else. Some do. And, hey, like Shepley, I completely missed him, didn't scout him or offer him a scholarship. He's a 4-star guard. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like maybe I need to at least get a scholarship on him. Just to see where we're going to stand in that race. I'm not going to put points on him. But let's get the scholarship and see how it looks next week with the scholarship added to him. Oh, shoot. Or, I mean, no, I already gave him a scholarship. I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. We'll throw 5 on him. It won't matter, but we're going to put it on him anyway. Screw it. Alright. That's it for recruiting. Next episode, today we're not going to jump into the games. I got to get the sliders set up right. I got to go through, get Mat 10 sliders. And hopefully import them and get some good gameplay here as we are going to start live streaming it sometime this week. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to commit to a schedule, but I'll be up and I'll be live, and then after I'll make it a video, so if you're behind, you'll be able to watch it. We're going to import the sliders that I currently have that I know are outdated, and we're going to jump into practice for a few minutes just because I want to see how this team feels out there on the field, basically. And, you know, is Kamario Taylor going to be any good? Where is it? Am I crazy? Free practice. There it is. I was just missing it. Good. Got the Florida Atlantic. Perfect. That's the playbook I prefer to run. It is technically an air raid playbook, but I do like it, and I think it works well. I'm comfortable with it. I've used it in a ton of other dynasties, so we had it for our Indian River dynasty that was on the channel initially. Wasn't able to finish that because my computer died, and now I'm trying to build up a live stream and get used to live streaming and playing. So, but that's the playbook I had there, so I'm already pretty comfortable with it. Man, we got no speed or ability to juke on the outside here. This is a perfect play for Kamario Taylor to make a big one. He's got so much speed and size. I think we're going to have to really lean into the ground with Wayne Knight and Kamario Taylor. Our offensive line's good enough. I don't think it'll be very good in the SEC, but it's good enough to where I think we're going to be able to move some of the lower tier opponents that we play, like the FCS school and all that. I do expect to have a lot of problems passing. We don't have a ton of talent on the outside, so I'm expecting that to be a real struggle for this team. We'll run some slants. Like I just don't think we're going to be able to win a lot. Yeah, and it's going to be a struggle. It's really going to be a struggle for us. And even when we get like this, I want to be able to step up with Kamario Taylor, take off, and run. Because I think that's going to be our best path in a lot of situations. If we don't get wins, like I don't expect our guys to work themselves open as the play goes along because they're just not good enough. And we're going to be running check downs. We're going to be doing everything we can. Wayne Knight feels good to use, and he can juke. I'm excited to get the ball in his hands. I think he'll be a good player. Check it down here. Get the ball in his hands, let Knight work, and make a man miss. Nice play there by Wayne Knight. Excited about him. Yeah, like we're going to be able to run all right, I think. I think our offensive line's good enough to be decent running the ball. And it's going to be a lot of screens, a lot of throws out to the running back just because Wayne Knight's our best player. And we're going to have to get the ball in his hands any way we can. And, you know, you got to pass the ball to open up the defense. So our best option as a receiver is our tight end, number 80, Foley here. And I've never been good at including the tight end consistently in the offense. So that's something I am going to have to try to get used to because he is our best player by far. And then he goes and drops the ball, go figure. But let's get another run. Kamario Taylor. Ah, dropped it. You got to be kidding me. We can't fumble that. Keep it on the ground here. Our team's not very good, but I can already tell Knight's not going to explode and make a lot of big plays, but I'm comfortable with what he'll be able to provide us. He'll be a consistent runner, which should help us. It's going to be a bad year. I'm not going to lie. Like, offensively, it's going to be a real bad year. I expect this to go south and not go well, but there we go. We get a few plays like that from a Redmond. That's cool with me. That's it, though, guys. I think we're pretty much done here today. If you haven't already, I would appreciate it if you hit a like on the video. And if you want to keep watching this James Madison team try to survive in the SEC as we get this series going, I would love it if you'd consider subscribing to the channel because I want to keep doing this for fun. Normally I do videos. I don't live stream, but life comes at you and you got to make decisions. So we're going to keep going and live stream. And I think it'll be fun as I get used to it. And hopefully it provides some interesting content here. And we're able to make this James Madison team competitive in the SEC. I do think ultimately Vanderbilt, and I did add Tulane in this year, might only be 1-year deals before I kick them back out of the SEC. If they're just not good enough and their team isn't good enough, I don't want them here. I want a tough road. That's why we're joining the SEC. So if they're going to just suck, we're going to boot them out of here. And we're going to try to do our best to make this a tough road to get to the playoffs and be a drag to get through the season. And that's my goal anyway. So that's it. That's all I got for you today. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'd appreciate if I caught you in the next one. Have a great day. I'm out.